Well, hi everyone, and welcome to today's webinar on financial literacy. I'm super excited to be with you tonight to talk to you about people who might be homeowners someday. And now is a good time to start on thinking about your future. So, number one, thank you so much for being with us today on this most important webinar about your financial literacy and becoming a homeowner someday, the smart start to your first home. So, first off, my name's Sue Meitner. I really appreciate you buying into learning about your financial security and your financial wealth. I have been a mortgage banker for three decades. I'm a certified mortgage banker, which means that I'm in the top 1% of mortgage strategists in the United States. I'm an entrepreneur, a speaker, a coach, an author. I wrote Crazy Lucky Girl, Do You Have the Keys to Success? And I'm most importantly a partner for you. So, why is home ownership so important? And what's the big deal about owning a house? So, the most important part is that it's helping you build long term wealth instead of paying someone else's mortgage. So, you have stability in a monthly payment, and instead of your rents increase within your monthly payment, you have principal, interest, property taxes, homeowners insurance. If you put less than 20% down, you have what's called private mortgage insurance, and it gives you the personal freedom to paint the walls, to adopt that dog you might want, to build a deck. But most importantly, it's an emotional investment that you're investing in yourself. But also, you are able to write off, definitely have a write off on your taxes, and it really allows you to do a lot. But what does homeownership mean to you? That's what I really want you to start with. Start with your why. Like, is it independence, security, family? What is your goal? Like, where do you want to live in the next 2 to 5 years? And what location do you want to live in? What are some of your lifestyle goals? Do you want to live in a suburban starter? Do you want to live in a rural fixer-upper? Do you want to live in a city condo? Like, what is your lifestyle goals? And knowing your why will really strengthen it when it comes to savings and when that savings gets tough to save up for. That is super important because you definitely need some money to purchase a house and you need to know the numbers. Well, first off, you can contact me and I'll be happy to go over your qualifications and your approval, but how much does it really cost to actually buy a house? So the myth is that you need 20% down, and that is not the amount that you need down. So you can get a down payment of anywhere from 3 to 20%. There's many programs out there that you can put 3 or 3.5% down without a problem at all. There's also USDA loans for rural areas that are 100% financing. And if you're a veteran, thank you for your service. You can also do 100% financing with a VA loan. Closing costs are about 2 to 5% of the purchase price based on the state that you live in. You also need to think about if you're going to have a home inspection, are you going to have moving expenses, furniture, insurance, emergency funds for those unexpected repairs. So it really does matter what you're qualified for. And you need to budget like a boss. You need to look at what you're tracking, you're spending on, where is your money actually going? If you pay rent now for $2,000, if you don't have an extra $1,000, $3,000 mortgage payment would probably be difficult for you. Set a goal. I want to save X in the next year. Budgeting categories, rent, food, fun, future home fund is super great. And apps to help are Acorns, YNAB, Good Budgeting, and Q App Capital. Capital. So, kill the bad debt. Why paying off debt fast matters. I wouldn't say to pay off all your credit cards at once, but you could definitely start to look at your credit cards, your personal loans, what's eating into your buying power. You can look at lowering your debt so that you can get a higher pre-approval, look at student loans. When are those going to be coming due if you haven't been paying them recently? You could look at the snowball versus the avalanche method and pick a strategy and definitely stick to it. So, credit is power, and we definitely need to know what your FICO score is. So, build and maintain a solid credit. You should check your credit report annually, and you can get a free credit report. Lots of times, Credit Karma is not accurate when it comes to giving you your FICO score for a home. Not all FICO scores are equal. So whether you're buying, it's based on the risk, whether you're buying it for pulling it for a credit card, a car loan, or a house. It's all based on why you're pulling your credit. Pay your bills on time every time and don't max out your credit cards. You want to make sure to keep it under 30% usage. If you can't do that, then 50% is fine. But also don't close old credit cards if you don't have to, because that can actually hurt your credit. So that's super good to know. So increase your income if you can. If you can change jobs, get a side hustle, anything that you can start allotting that money, ask for a raise. Definitely financial literacy in being an advocate for yourself is super important. Look at freelancing, remote jobs, and the more money that you have, then maybe you have more time. So learn the lingo early on. So we wanted to talk about real estate and mortgage terms that you'll hear a lot of. The difference between pre-approved and versus pre-qualification. So in pre-approval, you will give your lender pay stubs, W-2s, and bank statements. It's as easy as 1, 2, 3. 1 month's pay stubs, W-2s for 2 years, if you're self-employed, tax returns for 2 years, and 3 months bank statements. Escrow is when your taxes are being escrowed. PMI is when you put less than 20% down on a house. That's private mortgage insurance. And then most of the time people are doing fixed rates, but you have in the past heard fixed rate versus adjustable rate mortgages. So in my opinion, for a fixed rate, there's 30-year, 20-year, 15-year, 10-year. You just have to find the right amortization, which is how long your term is for you. Your debt to income ratio is your income versus the debt that you have for housing and for your housing and all your credit cards. Appraisal, we want to make sure that the house appraises. So we do a appraisal on the property you're buying. And equity, that's the amount that you have from the value of your house to the loan amount. That's your equity. Rate lock. People think when they're getting qualified that they can lock into a rate. You're not locking into a rate until you have a house and an executed agreement of sale that's closing within 60 days. So if you know these terms, you'll sound like a pro by the time you're ready to buy. So the main thing is start saving now. Automated transfers are super helpful for a home fund account. Try no spend monies for weeks or months. Eat out less, cook more, pause your subscriptions. It is amazing to see how many subscriptions you really don't need, but everyone's journey is different. You're not behind, you're just preparing. Most people say that they save for 1 to 3 years before buying a house, and every small step gets you closer to closer. So the timeline is, how long will this take? And it really is, when you're ready, you're ready. What comes next is to give me a telephone call. I'd love to be happy to approve you, but choose a lender who educates you, not just sells you. You want to have a lender for life. You want to start gathering your docs for income with W-2s, pay stubs, tax returns, and your credit information. You want to find a realtor that you enjoy working with because you're going to spend tons of time and you need them to be an advocate of yours. We can definitely help you with that. And you need to know what your price range is before you fall in love with a house that you might not be able to afford. So you don't need to have it all figured out today, but this is the first step and you've definitely taken it. And I'm so excited to be here to help you on possibly your next step. So start saving, start learning, and start dreaming because the someday starts now for sure. Thanks and have a great day.